What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are crushing it out on the tables. Just gonna take a look at this quick session, which I just finished up. $101 over 1 hour and 32 minutes. Got a ton of good hands in this little session. Went up like 3 buy-ins in the first 200 hands. It was crazy. Let's look at the interesting spots. First one we're taking a look at is Ace Queen under the gun +1 at a 50 NL table. Mr. Cashback makes a min raise from under the gun. We 3-bet to $3. I believe this was actually a straddle and I made it $3 to go. Mr. Cashback has a very loose aggressive play style over these 30 hands that we have on him, and he makes the call. We wind up seeing a flop of king high two-tone, 2 spades on the flop. We flop a gut shot, and Mr. Cashback could have pretty much anything with the 59% VPIP, but he does have a 60% fold to flop bet, so I think this is a great spot to put in a continuation bet. I put in a bet of $375 into a pot of $675. We're both pretty deep stacked, and we are drawing to what could possibly be the nuts, or if we had an ace, I think we're probably good here. So he does make the call, and we actually wind up turning the nuts. Perfect card for us. There's now 14.25 in the pot. We have 44.25 left in our stack. He checks back. I throw in a bet of a little bit larger than half pot right here, trying to make a bet size that would allow us to get our entire stack in. When he makes a call of $750, there is going to be 29.25 in the pot. Our stack will be a little bit larger than the pot on the river, and I think we have a good chance to just jam our entire stack in on the river at this point. But he does that for us on the turn, gets it all in, and you know how this goes with the nuts. All you gotta do is hit that call button. There it is. Miss that king, miss that jack. Ship it our way. Next hand we're looking at is pocket aces. Same table. We are on the button this time. We have a raise from the hijack seats. I'm gonna 3-bet on the button to $550, and the hijack seat calls. Flop is queen high, rainbow board. Hijack checks back. I bet a little bit larger than half pot on the flop, and he calls. There's now 24.75 in the pot. This player has a little bit more than that at 34.33 left in his stack. He checks back the turn. I make it 14.50 on the turn. That's gonna leave less than $20 left in his stack. He's gonna be way beyond committed to this one, and he just jams it in on the river. I am not gonna be getting rid of this one. I am hoping that he didn't hit his flush on the river, but there's no way I'm gonna be folding this, so I call with the aces. He shows king queen, and there's another almost $100 pot going our way. This was an interesting one at the 25 NL table. We were 4-handed, just started up a new table, and we get a limp on the button. I make it 5x from the small blind with pocket queens. The button makes a call. The flop is 3 4s. We have 275 in the pot. Both of our stacks are 23 and change. I bet 150 on the flop, and the button makes a call. With just the limp on the button pre-flop and the raise of 5x, I think there's a good chance that this player has maybe a very low pair, maybe 2 broadways. He's got relatively high VPIP and low fold, flop, turn, and river percentages. I think my queens are going to be good here against pretty much his entire range that isn't going to be raising from the button. So I make it 350 on the turn. He just makes a call. The 8 comes on the river. There's 12.75 in the pot, 18, 11 left in his stack. And I think if this player has any pair higher than 2s, which is most likely what he has in his hand since he's just called down the entire way, I think we're going to be able to get his entire stack on this one. Little do I know that he actually flopped 4 of a kind with queen 4. Did not see that coming. But I was playing this like he had a low pocket pair for a full house, and there was no way he was going to be folding this hand. So I just jam all in, and he makes a quick call, and I see that he had queen 4. That is quite the flop and crazy ass hand. That one hurt our session a little bit. We still wound up having an incredible session on this one, but that one definitely hurt. Now we're looking at ace king suited from the small blind. We are at a 50 NL table. We get a raise from the button, and we're 3-betting in the small blind. The button makes a call. See a flop of 10 high rainbow. This player has a 52% 50% bet to bet on flop and a 50% fold on flop. I like that 50% fold number way more than I like the 52% bet number, so I'm not going to give him the opportunity to bet, and I'm going to make him try to fold right here. So I make it 6 to go, and he makes a quick call, and that turn card pretty much gave us the hand right here. He has a 67% bet on turn and a 0% fold on turn. So I'm going to come out and lead out again on the turn here since he has a 0% fold. So I make it 11-16 to go, which is about half pot. I think that is a good number representing the 10 still, or maybe I picked up a redraw with that king. Now there's 45-82 in the pot. The 7 completes the flush. We have 25-90 left in his stack. That's going to go all in if this player hit his flush. I think we're going to get paid by pretty much any 10 or any king here if we jam all in, which I like better. So I do jam all in. He makes a fold. Maybe there's a chance he folded a 10 there. What do you guys think about this one? Should I have made a smaller river bet? Should I have checked back the river to try to induce a bluff here? I don't mind the play because I do think that any king or any 10 would have called this river. Maybe he folded a 10 thinking that I picked up the flush draw with a king and then was representing the flush, or I hit the flush on the river. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments below. Now we are at a 25 NL table. We have pocket jacks in the hijack seat. We get limps from under the gun and under the gun +1 as well as under the gun +2. We are not going to let these players get in for cheap, so we make it 175. We get a call from the player who has a VPIP of 38% and a call from the player under the gun +2. So we get to see a flop. There is 585 in the pot. Two-tone, king high, king queen on the board scares us a little bit. We have showdown value at the jacks now, so I just check back the flop when it comes back to us. But we wind up hitting our third jack on the turn. That is a huge card for us. We get check again on the turn. I think we would have seen a king bet before this. I don't want to let a straight draw get there for cheap. I think we could probably get a queen to call here. So I'm going to put in an enticing bet of 370 actually. That's going to make a good pot size when one of these players calls and we're able to get in a large bet on the river. So there's 1325 in the pot now. We have 1965 behind us. He checks back. I'm thinking this player probably has maybe a king rag, maybe he has a queen. I think a queen probably would have bet into us, which would have allowed us to get it all in. But I want a king to stick around right here. King rag to stick around. So I make a bet of 979. He's getting good odds on a pot of 2304. Just to call 979, I think a king is going to make this call. And hopefully he has a queen and he comes back over the top. He just makes a call. We are not sure what he had, but we pick up a big one right there. So many interesting spots in this session. Quick session of only 700 hands, but tons of awesome spots. Once in a while you'll have those sessions. So now we have ace queen suited, same table. Archer Vice, the player we just got in a hand with, limps from under the gun. We make it 5x to go. A little bit of an isolation bet again, and he makes the same play. He calls that, and we see a flop of 9 high, 2-tone, 2 hearts on the board. We have the nut flush draw as well as 2 overcards. 285 in the pot. I come out and bet 2/3 on the flop, and he makes a call. We turn the nut flush on the turn, make it 375 with the nuts, and he makes a call. I don't think this guy has a fold button. This hand pretty much played the exact same as that last one, and I think maybe that one helped us out a little bit, where he's thinking to himself, maybe he didn't play it exactly the same, but I did, and I made it about 3/4 of the pot on the river. I think there's a chance I could have just jammed all in, but I think the $9 bet makes a lot of hands stick around, like nines or maybe a queen that this player hits. I think he probably had a hand like ace 9, king 9, maybe 9-10, 9 jack, where he called the flop, called the turn, maybe he had one of those heart cards in his hand as well, and the $9 bet on the river is just small enough to make that 9 stick around on the river bet as well. So he does make a call. We do not know exactly what hand he had, but we pick up a very big pot right there with the nuts. And now we have pocket kings from the big blind under the gun limps. We get a limp limp from the cutoff as well. I make it 60 cents to go. Under the gun folds, and the cutoff jams all in. This guy obviously didn't want to play a hand with me, so he just jammed all in with his ace king. I didn't think this was the type of play we'd see from aces, so I thought about it a little bit, but figured it was probably going to be some kind of hand like this, or maybe he had a smaller pair than mine that he would make this play. But there's really no chance I'm going to be folding kings right here. So I do make the call. I wind up seeing ace king from this player. Not a terrible hand for him to be playing against kings. He still has a lot of odds to an ace, but we wind up flopping. That case king takes away all the ace outs, but he turns a flush draw, just hoping for no flush there. He misses it on the river, and we take down a pot right there. This is only at a 10 NL table, so the pot's only a little bit over 20 bucks, but hey, we'll take it. Every little bit counts. Head down to the video description for links to all the poker products that I use, as well as America's Card Room, where I am doing the 100K challenge. Use promo code DKPoker to receive $1,000 match bonus, as well as 50 tournament bucks. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done that yet. New videos are coming out almost daily, sometimes bi-daily. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. If you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comment section below. And I'll be back very soon with a new video, but until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.